Alrighty, guys and gals. It's Big E from the King's Room here. Just doing a little check-in video with you. Don't have anything written down. I never do. I just kind of wing it. Spur of the moment thing. Just thought I would check in with you and, I don't know, share a little bit about my day and maybe talk about maybe some things that might be coming on the channel. Anyway, today is September 8th for me. I had a dentist appointment. I finally brought myself to call. And I actually called this morning about 9. And they actually had an appointment for me to come in today. So I went in at 2. And I took my camera with me, a little vlogging camera, and I recorded just on the way there. And then when I was sitting in the car for about 10, 15 minutes before I went in. So there's going to be a video coming out, but I've had to order something, a card reader, to get the video off the camera because it won't transfer to the computer for some reason. I mean, I can transfer it, but it says it's 0 kilobytes, and it's like a 20-minute video. So anyway, I was a complete wreck because, I had to go to the building, and it's a pretty large building, and I was just a ruin. But part of the reason I took the camera with me is so I could just kind of talk to you guys, and it actually helped me out. I was, talking about what I was going through and, what I was feeling and things like that. And I think I talked about insurance a little and how I don't have it and blah, blah, blah. But it kind of kept me from overthinking too much about what I was getting ready to do, which was go into a building where people are and talk to people and sit in a chair. But I was able to get through it. Okay. Fortunately, there was not a lot of people where I was in like the little waiting room. But, they called me in, and it was a technician I talked to first, and she put me in a room and said, we're going to be doing some Xrays and this and that. And so I told her in a very shaky and nervous voice, I basically explained to her about my anxiety and how it's very difficult for me to be outside, let alone in a building with strangers. And they were so cool about it. I talked to this lady one-on-one because what I wanted her to do is just kind of like warn the dentist that was coming in. She made me feel so good that she's like, don't worry about it. They went very far out of their way to make me feel comfortable and relax and go at my own pace. And so anyway, they did full spectrum X-ray. I'm going to have to pay for that. I paid about $230 for today, which was basically the visit and the X-rays. I don't know if it was a partial payment on the X-rays. I'm not sure, but so there are a lot of teeth that need attention, and that doesn't surprise me. I knew that there were. It was basically about what I thought. There's 2 that they're going to have to pull for sure. They cannot be saved. One of them might be able to be filled or capped. She said that's the best thing to do first. You don't want to like pull your teeth out, right? I mean, it gets to that point and you have to. But so I have a follow-up appointment in 2 days on Thursday. I'm going to go in, and they're going to talk about getting me on a sliding scale because I'm poor, because I don't have dental insurance, and dental work in this country is expensive as hell. So I'm going to go do that on Thursday. I just basically have to bring, Social Security card ID and proof, like my monthly income, which is basically nothing. I'm actually getting state assistance a little bit. And I'll have to show how much I earn from here on YouTube, which is not a lot. It's every 2 to 3 months, I get just over $100 if anybody's interested. And that's honestly just because my channel members, you guys supporting me that way helps me out. I say this a lot, much, much more than you know, but I'm not here to talk about that. So I'm going to go in, do that. And then unfortunately, I don't have the actual work done, the start of the work, till mid-November. But it's been years. I've been dealing with this shit for years with tooth pain, and another month is going to be okay, right? So her plan is to extract one or both. They're going to do the worst one, which is my tooth in the back, on the bottom. It is broken off and sharp. The gum started to overtake it in some areas. And she said the cavity in it is really deep. It's just on the border of breaking the barrier to where the nerve is. And once that happens, if you've ever been there, that's excruciating. So they're going to try to pull that one. And she said they're going to have to take it out in pieces. Not trying to gross anybody out, but she said that one could take some time to do. And she goes, if there's time, if it comes out easy, I'll remove. There's one basically right above it that used to have a cap on it, and the cap actually broke off. And that one is almost broken down to the gum and has some sharp points on it. I know this sounds horrendous to people who take care of their teeth. If I had any advice to give a young person, including myself, if I could go back in time, take care of your teeth, man. Seriously. Do the dental cleanings. At the very least, you should be brushing at least twice a day. And there's a proper way to brush and floss. Take care of your teeth. Do not get into a situation like I'm in and a lot of people get into. But yeah, so if they have time, she'll get rid of the one right above it. And then I'll go back in December, and they're going to start fixing. I think I have 6 or 7 teeth that need attention, either have cavities or it's starting to go that way. My gums are overly sensitive. There's one of the things is infected. And that's one of the ones they're going to be getting rid of, or I think trying to clean up or something. And then they're going to do a thorough, I think the second appointment is a complete cleaning, which could take a long time too. And good God, do I need it? Well, anyway, that'll happen today. And like I said, I'm going to put out a video. I basically vlogged the first part of it, and what I did before I went to the building, I was like, okay, I'll check back in with you afterwards. But honestly, I was so mentally exhausted from being anxious that I just drove home, and I decided to do it this way. I was so bad. So they have this X-ray vest that they put on you, and she goes, I've seen other people come in who are very anxious. It may not be because they have social anxiety. It's just being in the dentist office is very, it can be stressful. So I don't know if you guys know this, but there's weighted blankets and things for people who it makes them feel secure. It works with certain animals, and it also works with babies as well. You bundle your infant up when it sleeps, and it just sleeps better because it's used to feeling like that in the womb, right? Nice and tight and balled up. And anyway, they gave me a weighted vest, and they both were so just kind. She was explaining everything she was doing, and I have kind of a funny story to tell. And despite of all of this that was going on, I actually just talked about this a little bit in one of the Iron Man videos, but first of all, my dentist was beautiful. She was just so sweet and beautiful, so soft-spoken, well-spoken, just, She's a little bit short, and I'm not trying to sound like a dick, okay? And usually when I say I'm not trying to sound like a dick, usually means I'm going to say something to where I sound like a dick. But I'll just say she had very large breasts, okay? I'm going to say that. And the whole time she was bent over, like calling out numbers, checking all my teeth to the assistant. Her breasts were basically in my face or on my forehead the whole time. And to say I was distracted is an understatement. Now, there's no way she's doing it on purpose, right? And maybe let's calm this guy down some, right? I just, it was, you talk about juxtaposed, man. I was in the pit of despair because I have pretty severe agoraphobia and social anxiety in a building I'm not familiar with, around people I've never met, in a prone position, suffering, shaking, can barely speak, adrenaline, can barely breathe, all this shit. And then I have breasts on my forehead. Heaven and hell, essentially, is what I went through. And I was fine. I was okay with it. I'll go to the dentist every day. I'll go tomorrow, and I'll lay in that chair all day. If that's what it takes, I'll take one for the team. No, I just felt like sharing that because it was such an odd, you don't expect that when you go to the dentist, right? Right? You don't expect some dude with his junk on your face, right? You don't expect it. Or breast. It's something that's the furthest thing from your mind when you go to the dentist, but that's how it was. And I had to share it. I had to say it out loud. So there. But yeah. So anyway, by the end of it, they did all the X-rays. She looked at all of the teeth, and she was doing this thing where she was measuring. That's what she told me she was doing, and calling out numbers and shit the whole time. Dude, it may as well have been a foreign language. But so afterwards, she went over everything and told me the schedule and what we were going to be doing. She kept checking in. Are you okay? And by the end of it, I had calmed down enough to where I could at least speak. And I know all this sounds absolutely nuts to be like, you're like what the, you just had an appointment. Like, what's the big deal? You can't explain it or get the feeling across unless you have had experience with something like this. At one point I wasn't like sobbing, but I was damn near close to crying because I was so aware of what I must look like and what I was feeling like, that it was so embarrassing and humiliating that it got me emotional. And a couple of tears came down. That's how bad it was, sitting in a room with one other person and a receptionist. Imagine me in a public place. It just would be not doable. And it's very hard to explain what that is or why it is. Like, it's a mental issue. But now that I know the building, she's going to be the dentist, and with the same assistant, I believe. So I know the people, and I saw the receptionists. So when I go back, it will be a little bit easier. And what I'm really hoping to do is they can get me on a payment plan that I can afford. And maybe in a year's time, I don't know how long it will take, my teeth will be okay, and I will not have to suffer this nerve pain and not being able to chew on my right side, stuff like that. That'd be a great, wonderful thing to have in my life. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah. Anyway, I was watching a video today, actually just about an hour ago, Midventures. You guys have seen him on the channel, I'm sure, in the comments. You call him Mitty or John. He put out a video, and I was sad to see that I missed the first part of it. he did like a Q&A. And I would have asked questions, but I didn't see the video. Mitty, I do apologize, man. I got a lot going on over here and been busy, and the channel has a pretty hectic schedule, and it's not really an excuse, but I don't watch like YouTube all the time and every day. It's sometimes, and I'm sure you kind of know too, recording 3-4 hours a day. Sometimes you're just done with the computer, you want to read a book or something. So anyway, it was fun to watch. And David Nelson, he's a dude over here. Yes, he is. He was over there. Both channel members too, which is just incredible, Anyway, I did ask questions after the fact because I left a comment saying, man, I wanted to ask a question. He's like, well, just ask a question here. You can ask anytime. So, John, if you're watching, I just was curious these are kind of generic, but I'm genuinely interested. You have a favorite movie or a favorite book? I know you're a reader. I'm also a pretty avid reader as well. Not so much as I used to be. Now with the channel, I have, less time, but I know that that's a tough question. Like favorite, like I could think of like 5 movies that are like my favorite, right? Same thing with books or like a song, but I don't know. I'm just wondering. I think I've got 20 years on you solid. I do believe. So, taste in music's probably different, but I was genuinely interested. By the way, have fun on your honeymoon. He's married and they are, I believe, going to Greece, some island. Yeah, they're going to do a bunch of freak stuff like all week. I'm glad somebody is. Anyway, it's a great idea. And so, John, I'm stealing it. I'm doing that here too. I'm doing a Q&A. We're all content thieves, right? That's all we are. We just steal. We're just ordinary men. What do you mean, ordinary men? I love that little clip, man. If you guys have never seen that, just YouTube ordinary men. We're just ordinary men. It's just a short, like 40-second clip of looks like a kid's show. I first saw it on Instagram. I don't know about you, but watching somebody else like lose it, laughing uncontrollably, it affects me. I'm sure that's the way it is with most people. I think people genuinely enjoy seeing other people laugh uncontrollably or, crack up or whatever. I don't know what the context of it is or whatever. I just know every time I see that, I crack up. We're just normal men. I think it's normal. Yeah, we're just normal men. And I think we're just ordinary men. But anyway, I figured I'm going to do that here. And I've been trying to live stream, guys. I really have. And the problem is I don't want to like make a date like I'm going to be doing it here because chances are I might not be able to do it because all of that stuff I was just talking about, the panic, it's the same thing that happens to me whenever I think about live streaming, like the build up to it. I know that if I did it and was able to get through and people started coming, I would chill. I know that would happen. We have a live stream tab on this channel, and I don't know how many live streams are in there, but 30 at least probably. They were so much fun. And you can actually see a difference. Well, I can. If I go back and look at something like that, which I really don't, but I remember feeling like, okay, I was nervous and stuff, but I remember obviously being able to do it. So that tells me how much has changed in my life in the last 3 years, with my mental health. But the point of that is I was thinking about maybe doing this in a live stream, but I don't know that I can do it. And I don't want to make a promise and, not keep it. Not that anybody depends on me. Whatever, but I'll ask here if there's any questions you guys have for me, something you want to ask. Ask. you guys know me, especially if you follow the channel for a while. I'm completely open. You know, I share way too much crap. I mean, I just told you I had boobs on my face in the dentist office and my mental problems. So if you're curious about anything in my life, I'm not trying to sound kind of, big-headed or conceited or narcissistic, but just putting it out there. I'll give the video a few days, and then I'll make another video, and I'll go through and read the questions and answer them. Yeah, that might be fun. Sure. So, yeah. But I guess that's it. I just wanted to kind of talk about the dentist and let you know about the video. But yeah, I got this really nice camera. Thank you, Bill Willis. That was a birthday present. It's actually right here. It's a PowerShot V10. The quality is effing amazing. This little camera, man, this thing is so good. It's got like a flip-up deal. It's got like a little stand right there. This is what I used earlier. It's my first time well, I've used it before, but longest video I've shot with it. The problem is you have to have like this software if you connect it to the PC via USB cable, which is what I was planning to do to pull the video over to my computer so I can edit it and all that. But it doesn't work. It reads the file as corrupted, having no data. It's like 0 bits on it, which is strange. So I was looking at forums, like, what the hell's going on? And it was different answers, but the answer I saw the most was, well, you have to download this utility, this Canon software utility, to where it'll recognize it as an MP4. It says MP4, but you can't play it on the computer. It plays on the camera just fine. So that didn't work because the Canon site, they don't have the software for the PowerShot. They have it for like the professional handheld cameras that you click the button, the super expensive ones. They don't have software for any of the PowerShot cameras, which is weird. So the other solution is to take the memory card out and, transfer it that way, and it should read. I don't know why that would be a thing, but problem is my computer doesn't have a memory card slot built in, so I had to order a little dongle where you put the memory card in and just put it in through USB. So I'm going to try that, and hopefully that works. If anybody is interested in seeing that. Yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you guys and gals so much for all your support and for watching. I know I say that a lot, but it's because I mean it. And again, if you have any Q&A, if you have any questions, not the answers, if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask here. Thank you, John, for the idea. Again, I'm just stealing it. I think it's a great way to connect with the community here. I mean, you guys are really amazing at comments anyway. I get a lot of comments and I love going through them, and that's why I have the King Reads Comments as a way to engage. And I do get questions from time to time, so I just thought maybe this would be the best place to do it, and then that way I can dedicate a whole video to it. And if you have more than one question, ask anything you want. I'm completely open. Seriously, I have absolutely nothing to hide or anything that, I'm ashamed of. I'm completely open about my mental health and everything else about my life. So anyway, that's it for me. I do appreciate you guys and gals so very, very much. To my channel members who have chosen to hit the join button, I cannot thank you enough. You are making a difference in my life. As a matter of fact, you're one of the reasons I was able to pay some of this bill I had to pay. Seriously, some of you more than others, and you know who you are. So anyway, that's it. Love you guys. Take care. I'll see you in a future episode of something.